Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peter Likes Books. And it is 11:09 a.m. on Wednesday morning, and this is kinda Bookmas, which is kinda like Vlogmas, but not, it's Bookmas. So today we are gonna talk about what I have been reading, which is all Alice Oseman. I actually do not know if I am pronouncing her name correctly or not, so could somebody please let me know in the comment section below. I probably should have checked the comments of my other, my last BookTube video before I made this video, because I'm sure somebody has commented below. So anyway, I want to talk about the books that I'm reading, which is literally the entire world of Alice Oseman, and I want to talk about what I consider the genius of Alice Oseman, because I think she is. I think she is one of the most fantastic, not even just young adults, but one of the most fantastic authors of our time. Her writing is just phenomenal. And so let me tell you how this all happened to me. And I just have to tell you that I am so incredibly thankful for BookTube and Bookstagram and just the whole bookish community, because I am constantly finding books that I would not know about if I didn't watch BookTube videos or follow people on Bookstagram and things like that. And I honestly do not remember who it was, but somebody was talking about the book Radio Silence by Alice Oseman, which I'm listening to right now. I have 3 hours left, so I'll be finishing that today. I'm currently at 81 books for the year. I'm trying to get to 100, because that's my goal. By the end of today, I will have completed, hopefully, fingers crossed, double fingers crossed, 83 books, because I'm halfway through Alice Oseman's we're just going to call her Alice Oseman, unless, until I know differently, that's what I'm going to call her. It's either Alice Oseman or Alice Osman. But anyway, I'm currently reading Heartstopper, the 3rd edition, which is her graphic novel, which are unbelievably fantastic. And I'm currently listening to Radio Silence. So she's written quite a few books. So I have now, this is my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, this is my 7th book in like a week of hers that I'm reading. So I don't know how I heard about Radio Silence, and the lighting is going to be really bad with this video, you guys, I apologize. But somebody recommended Radio Silence, like in a video I was watching, and they were talking about like, oh, it's like one of the greatest books they've ever read, and this was like 6 months ago. So I'm always looking for like new, really great books, and it was somebody that I respected, so I don't know who it was, but anyway, somebody that I highly respected, and I don't remember who they are. But anyway, so I purchased Radio Silence on Audible, and I started listening to it, and I knew that it was this story about these, like, these two people that start a podcast, but I didn't know much more about it than that, right? And when I started listening to it, it just was very, like, it felt very teen angsty to me, and I just was like, I'm really not into this right now. I was, you know, in the middle of reading a lot of true crime and thrillers and stuff, and so I was like, we'll do this later. So then what happened was, flash forward, I was trying to like get some books that I wanted to like read, that I could read fast, because I'm trying to get to, like I said, like 100 books, right? So I was going through and I was taking, this is so weird how this whole world happens, right? So I was looking at the Goodreads, like every year they run the contest or whatever, not the contest, but they have the awards, the Goodreads awards. And I was looking through the graphic novels, because I don't read a lot of graphic novels. Well, that's changed. I've started reading a lot of graphic novels. So I was looking through there, and one of the books that was recommended, or one of the books that was up, that was nominated, was Alice Oseman's Heartstopper, the 2nd edition. Or maybe the 3rd edition, I don't know. So anyway, so I was like, oh, this looks really interesting. This looks really good. So I knew that it was about these two guys that fall in love, and they're friends, and whatever. So I was like, okay, so I ordered them on Amazon, and then I went to go look at Alice Oseman's stuff. I was like, oh my god, that's who wrote Radio Silence, because I remembered her name. She has kind of a different name, right? So I was like, oh, I know she wrote Radio Silence. What else did she write? So I went to her Goodreads, and I looked, and she had written Solitaire. Well, Solitaire has 2 spin-offs of it. This Winter and Nick and Charlie, who are, both of those are mostly about the characters Nick and Charlie. So Solitaire is a book about Victoria Springs. She goes by Tori. And her brother Charlie is kind of a spin-off character in it, and his boyfriend Nick. And which was interesting because before I had already read book 1 and book 2 before I started Solitaire, okay? Because I'm now waiting for, like, at that time, I was waiting for book 3 to come. It's since come, and I'm reading the 3rd edition of Heartstopper. So, I listened to Solitaire. I started listening to it the other night, late at night, and I was like, yeah, I don't know that I'm really into this. But I wanted to listen to it, even though it was, like, 10 hours long. I was like, okay, I'm gonna listen to this, because then the other 2 spin-offs were each, like, I think Nick and Charlie was 1 hour and 45 minutes on Audible, and This Winter was 1 hour, and so it's like, okay, this will like bump 2 books out real quick. Do you get it? Okay. I did not expect to fall in love with the book Solitaire the way that I did. It is such a phenomenal book. It is such, I gave it 5 stars, which I never in a million years when I started it would have expected to give it. So, this is what is so genius, okay, about Alice Oseman. The only other person I've seen that has done this in any kind of way that it kind of like works correctly is Becky Albertalli with the Simon-verse, okay? Which if you read, you know, Simon-verse is a Homo sapiens agenda, and then Leah on the offbeat. Leah is his, best friend. And then I can't remember the other book that has to do with other characters, but like, I think Simon is the cousin or friend, and then he like calls in at this one point and makes like a cameo role. So, I'm reading Heartstopper, which is about Charlie Sprang and his boyfriend Nick Nelson, okay? And they go to this one school. So then, Tori goes to another school, Charlie's sister, okay? So, Solitaire is about Tori, Charlie's sister, and her friendship with, am I getting this confused now? And it's about her friendship with this guy, okay, that used to go to Charlie and, Charlie and Nick's school. They're like there's like a boys' school and a girls' school. There's like the girls' school is kind of co-ed, I guess. I don't know how it really works. I'm kind of confused by it. But anyway, so there's a lot of crossover of characters, right? Like, they all know each other because they all live kind of in the same town. And Solitaire is about this, she's real obsessed with being online and all this kind of stuff, and she's teen angsty, but like Tori, but like, it really works. And I'm not going to ruin anything for you guys, because the mystery of both of these books is what makes it so fantastic. You're going to have to wait, I'm sorry. But anyway, people calling me while I'm trying to make my videos. So, there's like this website that gets started, and it's called Solitaire, and they basically post all these pranks to the school that she goes to. And at first it starts kind of funny, but then it kind of gets out of control, and she realizes that at some point it's going to become dangerous, right? And so she's trying to figure out who it is so that she can stop it. So like, that's the whole book. Well, what is so interesting then is if you're reading the Heartstopper graphic novels, like, you can read any of these kind of at the same time, although I would say if you're going to read Solitaire and Radio Silence, read Radio Silence second. Because, so I'm reading these, and it's like, all of these characters are kind of like interspersed with each other, like they mention them in other books. It's like, she's so genius the way that she does it. So then so I finished that book, and I'm like, oh my god, like, Solitaire was fantastic. And she's like this teen angsty character, but it doesn't come across as like whiny, complainy. Like, she really is into just really wanting to be her own person, and really being very much of an individual. I talked about this in my video the other day, and just being true to herself. And so it's not like teen angsty, it's like really finding herself when she's in high school. It's very cool. It's a very cool book. And it references a lot of like pop culture, like music that's out today and things like that. So anyway, I'm gonna have to turn around because the light is so bad, you guys. So anyway, so then I pick up Radio Silence after I finish Solitaire, and I'm just blown away. The end of Solitaire is just like, I mean, it is an incredible book. It is an incredible book. I loved it. And so I finish Solitaire, and I start Radio Silence. Because I'm like, well, now that I'm into her world, like, I want to read all of it, right? Oh, no. After I finished Solitaire, that's not true. I read Nick and Charlie. I listened to that on Audible, which was like an hour and 45 minutes. And it was okay. I gave it 4 stars. It just wasn't that developed unless you knew the characters. It was a spinoff of Solitaire. So it was fun to read because you knew those characters. And then I read This Winter, which is basically about their, like, Christmas. And it was good. It was an hour long. It wasn't, like, that big of a deal. I gave it 4 stars. So anyway, then I start Radio Silence, okay? And Radio Silence is about this girl named Frances. And, well, first of all, the level of diverse characters in these books, and not just that, but also, like, talking about their diversity and, I don't know. Oh, my Lord. My alarm and everything is going off. This is crazy town today. I need to turn my alarm off, because if I don't turn my alarm off, then it'll keep on going off. I hadn't planned to sleep all night long, okay? Which is what happened, so I just got done vlogging. Hold on just a second. Let me turn this off. So then I start Radio Silence, okay? And I have to say, like, I had started it before, so I wasn't super excited about it. I was like, sometimes when I put my sunglasses on, it, like, do you see what it does to my hair? It makes my hair look so stupid, so I have to be careful that it's like, because, you know, of course I'm a movie star and everybody's looking at me. But anyway, so I start reading Radio Silence, and I'm like, not really sure, like, what I'm gonna think of it. Well, as soon as I start it, it references, like, it must have come after Solitaire, because I didn't even look in the publishing dates, because it references what happens at the end of, Radio Silence references what happens at the end of Solitaire, like, right out of the gate. And, like, and it almost is kind of like Solitaire ends and Radio Silence starts, but they're different characters. So what's so crazy is, I'm, like, probably an hour into this book, and one of the main characters, one of, like, the 2 or 3, the top 2 main characters of Radio Silence is one of Charlie Spring's best friends in the Heartstopper graphic novels. And I'm like, because his name is Aled. So it's like, it's not like a typically, you know, a real normal name, not here in the United States, but the books take place in the UK. And I'm like, this is so smart how she does this. She just, like, cross-references all these characters. And so if you read all of these books, like, you don't have to read them to know about the characters, but if you do, like, it makes the reading experience 10 times richer. Because you're so into this world, you're just like, oh my God, this world is just, like, unbelievable. Like, you're so into it, right? I actually want to look and see if she's got, I know she's written other books, but I don't know how they play into this whole, like, world that she's written. So anyway, has anybody else read Alice Oseman? I mean, I just, to be honest with you, I wasn't expecting to like these books as much as I did, and I'm just absolutely blown away by them. I mean, obviously, if I've read 3 graphic novels, 2 books, and 2 spinoffs, so what is that, 7 books total in the matter of, like, 5 days, like, I'm just completely blown away. That I've read her, like, almost entire canon of books. She's really young, too. She's, like, 20. I just am blown away. I cannot believe what a phenomenal author she is. Just a phenomenal writer. I love everything. And it's like, the thing is, I will tell you, the books are kind of dark. Solitaire has references to self-harm and coming out issues and labeling of sexuality and bullying. But they're done in a way, but so do the graphic novels, but done in a way that I feel like really well done. Like, I feel like she addresses it in an important way, and also stresses the importance of getting help for these issues. And Radio Silence, there's this, like, level of a need for perfectionism that she talks a lot about, and then there's also, like, just well, I don't want to ruin it. But there's a lot of some like similar kind of like issues. They're just important books. They're not just these flimsy, whatever, contemporary young adult books. I mean, they're important books that I think, like, had I read them when I was in high school, I would have so identified with the feelings that the characters have, and of isolating and not feeling like I fit in and all of that. And I think it would have made me really feel, because she kind of does this uniform thing where it's like, you realize that it's not just the main character, but like a lot of the characters kind of feel like, no matter how popular or not they are, that they don't fit in, and that's kind of more of like that generational experience than just being like, oh, the one, like where other books I read, it's always like, you have this one kind of teen angsty character that doesn't fit in, right? But like what she does that's so fantastic is, no matter like if you're popular or artsy or, you know, like brainy or whatever, like whatever clique you fit into, everybody kind of has that feeling of isolation and not fitting in when they're in high school. And it's so well done. Like, she doesn't exclude anybody from having these emotions and these feelings. And I'm just like, she just really, I think, has her finger on the pulse of an entire generation of emotion. And it's just really, really well done. Not to mention, there's, in both books, so Radio Silence is about, I will say this, Radio Silence reminds me a lot of, Eliza and the Monsters by Francesca Zappia. They're very similar ideas. And, except for that, in Radio Silence, it's about, and I will say this, that if you're old school like me, Solitaire reminded me a lot of, what was the movie? Kind of a mix between Pump Up the Volume and, like, Christian Slater and Pump Up the Volume and, what's Heather's. Like, kind of like this mix between the two a little bit, but not as cruel as in Heather's. But Pump Up the Volume, definitely. And I'm almost kind of like wondering if she had seen those movies a little bit, because it kind of felt influenced a little bit by those movies, which were like big movies for me when I was younger. So Radio Silence is about this guy, well, you don't know who it is at first. I don't think that'll ruin it for you, because you kind of find out real quick. But anyway, that has a podcast, and it's like this viral podcast, and then Frances is like in love with it. And so it's about this whole podcast thing, and like it going viral on YouTube, and the secrets and the history behind it. It also kind of reminds me a little bit of Christopher Rice. If you've ever read anything by Christopher Rice, like The Snow Garden, it kind of reminds me of him a little bit. That kind of eerie mystery feeling to it, I think. I don't know. I'm just like obsessed with her. I think I have like, this tail end of 2020, I have been so blessed to just read some great books. Like, I already knew that I was going to finish that book today. I thought I would finish it last night. So I went and I downloaded the next 3 Jana De Leon books. I think I'm 10, 11, and 12 of the Misfortune series, because I want to finish that series. Manal, who was in our book club, she finished that series already. Well, the series is continuing to go, but it's on like book 17 or 8. I think it's on book 18 right now. And so the next one should be 19 that comes out. But I just feel like I have been so blessed to have read some just absolutely phenomenal books this year so far. So it's been really fun, and it's been really exciting. And so anyway, yeah, and then we had the book club on Sunday, and the book club was really, really good. We talked about the JAYCEE DUGGARD books. A lot of people had read the extra credit book too. And then for the month of December, we are reading about Casey Anthony. I cannot remember what the book is called, but it's linked below. If you want to check it out, I haven't even anywhere started reading. I haven't even downloaded that book yet. That'll come towards the end of the month. I'll probably read it after Christmas, before New Year's, because it's, you know, Casey Anthony. I don't want to read Casey Anthony at Christmas time. That's sad and depressing. So anyway, I will tell you the other thing about these Alice Oseman books too, is that there is kind of a feeling of Christmas about them. Like, she kind of spins Christmas into a lot of her stories, like Radio Silence. I just passed a part where they're talking about Christmas and winter. I mean, there's summer in there as well, but So they have a Christmas element to them. I would highly, highly recommend them. They are so good, you guys. So obviously you know that I've gone on and on about it for 20 minutes now. So anyway, I just want to talk about the genius that is Alice Oseman. When I finish Radio Silence, I will come back and talk more about it. And I hope you guys are having an amazing Wednesday, and I will be back tomorrow for another kind of vlog, or kind of Bookmas. I love you guys. Kind of Vlogmas. Kind of Bookmas. I love you guys. Bye!